When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.
Hey, welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing those stories to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. Because let's be honest, this is the greatest job on earth. Doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type, you can carve out an amazing life in sales. And today's guest, no stranger to the journey, a personal friend who I've had the pleasure of watching build and grow his business. He's Frank Miulli. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here, Drew. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor getting to have you on the show. I know we've been, connected for a little while now. So I want to jump right in because I want to hear your crazy sales story.
I've got a lot of stories. I've been on a lot of journeys, that's for sure. Setting up my business, traveling, putting myself in new places, not knowing anybody, doing all new things. I tried different, I wouldn't say tactics, but techniques, reaching out to people, and got a lot to share.
And I'd be curious because you're in the private transportation business, and I would have to imagine there's some stories you can't tell us, but you've probably met some really interesting people along the way. I'd be curious, as someone who's always appreciated the opportunity to chat with interesting people. I mean, that's why I have a show. What were some of those really interesting conversations that you can share? Even if you can't name any names, was there anything that really impacted you in a way that helped you kind of build and grow your business?
Absolutely. After driving so many people, some people in headlines, from them to your average person, I've learned not to place judgments on things you hear of, guys. There's people in headlines that you would think are a bad boy, it's kind of doing their thing, and they are the calmest, most chill people you'll ever meet, very respectful. I've drove people you would think would be very respectful to you as a person and your property, and it's a complete opposite. Definitely seen a lot of things, met a lot of different people. What's always worked for me is just serving my best. I always try to do my best for them, for my clients, try to accommodate any of their needs, and that's all we could really do.
I will 100% vouch for the fact that you will accommodate needs, and I'll share a personal experience that you and I had. We were at our good friend Mike Shulkin's event back in 2024, and the opportunity to firewalk was presented, and you and I are looking at each other, and we're looking at our watches going, I don't know, man, we got to be at the airport in 37 minutes. What do you think? And you're going, don't worry, bro, I got you. And we both got to firewalk, threw our shoes on, hopped in the truck, got to the airport, still got out on time. And I will say, my man, he put the fire pedal to the metal. He got me to the airport. We got to go home, and we both got to have an amazing experience. So, first of all, thank you. But second of all, this is the vouch of the level of service that you will go to. You will put yourself on the line so that you can have an amazing experience with your clientele. And what I love about what you said in terms of not judging people, I think that's super important in sales, because a lot of times we're working with clients and we don't necessarily know their whole life story if we're just meeting them. And man, sometimes people with a lot of money dress very low key, and some people with no money dress very, very high key, right? You can't always tell what kind of individual they are. So you have to ask some questions and get to know them a little bit. And what I'd be curious for you, how did you put yourself in a position of trust with some of these high level individuals or referral partners to where they're willing to call you and say, hey, I've got this famous person or this really important VIP that needs a ride. Can you come and get them? How do you even get yourself into that position?
It's strange how it all came together. I started servicing theaters in the Chicagoland area, and a lot of promoters that I would service these guests for. They saw that I knew how to read a room. A lot of people coming in, especially to venues like that, they have a tight schedule. It's important, even though they're working, they respect the work, but they still like to be able to be themselves outside of it. So they see I could read a room. I do my best to accommodate, especially like show days. Things happen. People forget things at a hotel. A guest appearance comes in. You got to shoot to the FBO, pick them up, get them to the theater, get them out, back on the plane. So just being there, present, aware of what's going on, doing your best to just serve the clients in general. It got me in there, and it's worked out.
And one of the things that you do, and we've talked a little bit about this, is, and you kind of mentioned it, you'll go into new markets where you don't know anybody at all, and you'll literally hit the streets and start reaching out, cold calling, networking, and trying to build relationships. And I know from speaking to hundreds of people per month, there is an absolute fear that exists in some people who would rather cut their hand off than go door to door and talk to strangers. So how do you get over that fear? Like, how do you go into a new market and just put yourself out there like that?
It's become normal to me. Now I'm in Avon, Colorado. I've been out here for a year now. 3 years ago, when we were at Ignite, I was in Florida. A year before that, I was in Chicago. So just getting into these places, showing up, just always showing up. 2 to 3 years ago, when I was in Florida, I cold called a company, an auto company, to get orders. I decided to drive down to Florida, hit the market, and I stayed connected with this individual who is now my webmaster on all my sites. He was a dispatcher and webmaster for a company out in South Florida. And 2 years later, while I'm here in Colorado, he takes care of my web stuff and phone service as well. So staying connected. And I'd say in these new markets, I listen to none of what I hear and believe half of what I see. Being here in Colorado, when I got here, so many people would say, do not talk to this company. Don't work with this certain individual. And those certain individuals are the ones that actually helped me the most thus far when it comes to covering orders, needing assistance. So I'd say showing up is most important. Showing up, listening to your client's needs, what would support them, what would lift them up, and just making judgment for yourself, not based on what others say. Treating everyone the same and showing up has been very important.
Yeah, and when you're in a service industry like you are, I mean, you can make or break a relationship really quickly. All it takes is one bad word or one person, like you said, in an area to be like, oh, you don't want to work with them. And it can cause this whole cascading effect. So I appreciate, what you said about a willingness to just be non-judgmental at the start and just kind of understanding, hey, man, there's opportunity and value where we look for it. And so how can I show up in a room and be someone of value? How can I make sure that people see that and there's an authority and a respect level there? Because again, when you're working with high value clients like you do, there is definitely a level of discipline required and the ability to, what's the word I'm looking for? Discretion, I think is a big one, right? And being able to know that people are people. Like just because they're, well known or famous or anything like that, I mean, people are people. And so for you, when you get the opportunity to build a network like you have, because what I really love about how you've built your business is that you can kind of be anywhere in the world and be able to get things taken care of. So how did you establish that stuff so that you can essentially have the freedom to build the business where you want to build it?
I'd say what's helped the most is staying connected. Staying connected with the people you meet, doing your best to support them. Anyone that brings you into their circle, I don't care if you're bringing them a coffee or if you're giving them a ride, they are trusting you in their surroundings. Anyone that brings you in, they want to trust you. They need to trust you and stay supported. So I'd say coming in to these new markets, I'm just aware of that and do my thing on it. Honestly, I don't even remember what you asked, Troops. Sorry.
No, you're getting it. Really just leads me because I know there's some folks out there who, maybe they're younger or maybe they're kind of been in a business for a little while where they're kind of feeling stuck and they're wanting to venture out and start their own thing. We kind of get that bug, the entrepreneurial bug of like, hey man, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to go and do my own thing. I've got ideas and I want to execute on them. When you started this business, what were some of the first things that you did and maybe like a big mistake that you made early on?
When getting started, especially going into new areas and where I was based in general, you learn from your mistakes along the way. Yeah, we all make mistakes. It's a learning process. It's how we get to the finish line. And I'd say staying connected is the key. Even traveling to different areas, and no matter where you're based, you stay connected with your contacts and the people that support you and that you support, and you guys lift each other up. Staying connected is the key to building a network that could take you anywhere, especially going into multiple cities. You need to stay connected and you need to connect people. Connecting people to a support system that works gives them safety, it gives them comfort, and ultimately it prevails.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track with that because there's that saying, what it's not what you know, it's who you know. And there's so much to that in terms of sometimes you got to know the guy. And one of the things I appreciate about you is the ability to reach out to you and be like, hey, I'm trying to do this thing, or I'm looking for this person. And almost inevitably you can pull up your Rolodex of people and be like, hold on, I got you, big dog. Boop, 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 boop. Let me make an introduction. And there's so much value to that, which I think, again, kind of looking at how you're in the service industry, I want the listeners to understand that you don't have to always be the one who's providing the specific service, but you have to be the plug that people can reach out to and just know, hey man, whatever I need, whenever I need it, I can call Frank and Frank's got a guy. And like that's the cool part about building a service business is that it goes so much more beyond just the main service that you offer, because you can start vertically integrating with some of these other places, right? So for you, you might be connected to different hotels or different venues that now you're also cross promoting as a part of what you do in your business. So there's value on their part building that relationship because of the additional exposure. And I'd be interested to learn, kind of what your strategy is around. I think some people are intimidated to walk in and try to connect with some of these bigger venues in their area or some of the bigger players. And, what has been one or two of your strategies to like get in the room with these people?
For me, I usually go in. I don't even call. Like my process, I go in for a formal introduction and I do more listening. I see what their needs are, what I could help them with, connecting, even if that's doing something outside of my service and connecting them with someone else. It goes a long way. And from there, you meet new people. I would go into these hotels and talk to the front desk manager, and next thing you know, you're sitting down with the board of like Vail Resorts. So it's staying connected, doing your best to listen to whether it's a client, just walking in and talking to someone that works at the desk for a formal introduction, just listening to what their needs are and doing your best to build around it could get you a lot of introductions. Anything that service you could provide, even if it's just a reference, it goes a long way. And you meet new people. They pass you off to the branch manager. Next thing you know, and you're talking to the top guys there.
So you're meeting all these people. Like, how do you keep it organized? Do you keep notes on each person? Do you have like a little black book where you're like, John likes Snickers bars and Stephanie, she likes roses? Do you have like a secret guide or anything like that where you just have like the guy from Mr. Deeds where he's just like, I know everything about everyone. Very sneaky, sir.
Gotta have a system, gotta be organized. For all of our VIPs that come in, I have notes in my system on where our last conversation left off, what type of music they like, how they like their coffee, stops they like to make to and from, pending which state they're in. So staying organized, and have to have a system that works. Have to have an easy system that helps you provide the best service you can.
Did you ever have a situation where you didn't have that and it like there was a big lesson there where you're just like, oh shit, this is why I need these things?
Absolutely. I've had guests doing what I do with transportation. I've had guests come in where I've put on the wrong music stations, and some take big offense to that. And there's guests that want it quiet. They want white glove service. They want it quiet. They don't want a word spoken. Your hand gestures even matter. I've had one VIP come in that was in Chicago, and I was standing with my thumbs out. So rule of thumb, courtesy is you never stand with your fingers out in your pockets. It was about 10 below in Chicago. And I'm outside waiting for him to come out with his assistant. And I had my thumbs out, hands in my pocket, thumbs out, and that still was not good enough. He came out yelling and screaming, asking me why my hands were in my pocket. And I doing what I do. I did not even say a word. I said, understood. Got him off going where he's going. But that would be a big one. In his notes, I definitely have no hands in pocket, perfect posture. The littlest things matter. The little things all add up, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, it's crazy how like those subtle little things can make such a massive difference. But it's also a good reminder because you never know. That subtle little thing could be the difference between a gigantic account and missing an opportunity that, could change your life. And it's a willingness to, like you did, yes, sir, understood. No big deal. I'll fix it. Right? Some people might take offense to that. Well, it's 10 degrees outside. It's freezing cold, man. What a jerk telling me I can't keep my hands warm. Like, no, yes, sir, understood. I'll fix it. And it's not many people are willing to do that, man. So kudos to you for really stepping up and caring enough about your clients to facilitate their needs, because that's what service is all about.
Yeah, and you have to have thick skin. You can't shy away or take offense to a correction per se, or not knowing how someone wants their service to be. You can't take offense. You have to have thick skin, and they want to see improvement. So if you show them you're putting in effort to see how they like things, in the case of what I do, those small details all matter. And if they see improvement and see the effort to be the best at what you're doing, they stick with you.
Yeah, man, I love that. And we could probably sit and nerd out on this for many hours, but I want to respect your time. How do we come find you, follow you, check out more of your stuff? Maybe if we're in the area and need some VIP ride service, like what's the best way to come check out your stuff, man?
You guys can check me out on Instagram, Ride Like Royalty, Move with Purpose at VIPs.ride. Go on our website. We have a direct booking link to Chicago and Colorado at VIPgroundtransportation.com.
Love it, man. We will make sure we put those in the show notes. Thanks again for hanging out with us, man. It's always a pleasure getting to chat with you.
Always a pleasure, Drewbs.
Listen, if you guys liked the episode, share it on social media. Maybe you know somebody who sucks at service and they need a good reminder on how to be a quality service provider. Send them this episode. You don't have to tell them they suck, but just send them the episode. Tell them, hey, man, I heard this. I thought of you. I think you'll get some value out of it. Because that's what this is all about. Spreading the mission, helping people get better, growing beyond where we are so that we can take it to that next level. And maybe you've got a crazy sales story and you want to share it with the world because you think it'll bring some value. I'd love to have you on the show. Head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your details. Get scheduled in. While you're there, grab a hat, keychain, wristband, book, something. Support the movement. You know what to do. Pick up the phone. Call the damn leads. See you guys next time.
When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.